Hello and welcome to a little chat here on Chinny Vision 2 because I want to talk about microphones. I've seen some people on Twitter talking about mics and making suggestions, and a lot of talk revolves around these Rode wireless mics, the Go's, that you see around the little boxes you see clipped onto people, which are perfectly fine for a lot of circumstances. I've even bought them for my clients myself. But they do have their issues. And for example, one of those issues is you can't change the batteries. We can change the batteries, but you need to crack open the case. They're not designed to have the batteries changed. And also you've got this kind of giant box clipped onto you. And if the battery runs down during the shoot or tough, you're going to have to recharge it because you can't put any more AA batteries in. And I also have questions about build quality because, frankly, they're cheap little plastic boxes, and one guest mishandling them, drop them on the ground, they're probably going to break open because there's nothing inside there. There's no kind of real build quality. But as I say, I've recommended them for clients. They're very cost effective. They're very, very easy to use, and the quality is relatively good. So why not? But if you are a little bit more prepared to perhaps go down more conventional routes, then there are bargains to be had. I'm going to show you a microphone that I've owned since 2005. It's a lapel mic. It's my Sony ECM-77B. And I keep it in my camera bag in a freezer bag because, hey, it keeps it all together. And this is a microphone, as I say, I've had for years now. That end is... oh, losing the battery. That end is a little barrel that enables you, should you wish, to put a battery in there for phantom power, or if your desk or device can't supply phantom power, which is 48 volts, you pop a battery in there and it will power the mic. It's a lapel mic. It's the industry standard, the absolute TV industry standard. Go look it up, Sony ECM-77B, and there it is. It's a tiny little capsule there. That's magic marker for reasons that will become clear, not some kind of damage to my hand. It's tiny. A little tiny capsule, clips on, comes with this special Sony clip, which we'll come to. But let's plug it in and I'll show you the sound quality. You have to be very careful here because I don't want to deafen you. So, and we're recording this as live. I'm not going to be editing it. So I'm just going to plug it in up there. Phantom power on the desk. I'm going to, probably the best thing to do is clip it on actually. I'm just going to clip it on me. There. To get a realistic usage case, because they can sound, lapel mics can sound weird if they're in the wrong place. So I'm going to swap my, and remember my main mic here is all sorts of processing going on down there. So I'm going to sound a little bit weedy, but this should, if I get this right, fade up very slightly, fade up, turn myself up, turn the gain up, and hopefully you can hear me. Can you hear me? And that is the sound of me unprocessed on a Sony ECM-77B, the industry standard TV lapel mic. My acoustics in here aren't great. Obviously I've got all the processing turned off. I can just unclip it here without deafening you. But it's omnidirectional, so whichever way you point it, it picks me up. Not quite as well that way, but the idea is you actually clip it in onto the guest upside down. You'll see this on TV. Then you clip that through there like that, not quite like that, and then it goes through the shirt or top or whoever is wearing it. But that's kind of, this is the ECM-77B. It will pick up noise from the cable because obviously the cable's connected. But I've had this one for 18 years. And I'm going to change the microphones back over. I've had this one for 18 years. And it's gone everywhere with me. It's in good condition. Let's unplug it. And you probably want to know, well, Chinny, you're recommending I buy one of these for my podcast, or not podcast, it's not a podcast mic, for interviews and things. And I'd say yes, but the problem is with these, they are £459 each, if you can see that there. Makes Preston, that's a bit overexposed. $459.99, VAT included. They are that from many of the retailers. I don't know if I can get my camera settings up. Camera hub. Let's just try and take. Let's put automatic exposure on. There we go. Can you see that now? £459.99. Sony ECM-77B omnidirectional mic tie clip, microphone with XLR preamp, which is the little box there. Probably the most seen lapel mic on TV and is widely used in both studio production and on location. Its popularity is based on a combination of excellent sound quality, robust construction, and attractive cosmetic design, i.e. it's small. And this is the one that's got the barrel on it. And yeah, I mean, that's after 18 years of use. It stood up to being on location in all sorts of places. Don't always use it. I quite often use wireless Sennheiser mics. But if I want a wired top quality solution, this is the mic I have. And I'm just going to carefully coil up my cable to look after it. Because what we do not do is scrunch our cable up and put it back in its bag all scrunched up, because this is an expensive bit of kit. So we correctly coil our cable up, pop that down there, making sure it is fully untangled to be put away, ready for the next use. And it will last another 18 years, because there's a thing about microphones, proper microphones, not Bluetooth ones. You buy a microphone once, you've bought it for life. And I don't mean you're going to get run down the next day. I mean, literally, that is an 18-year-old mic that is there and has been in a work environment for 18 years and has been used a lot. So, Chinny, so I'm coughing. Can't edit this, so I'm recording it on OBS. How do I get one of these? Because you're going to tell me how to get one of these, aren't you? The answer is yes, I am. And the answer is, of course, eBay. And I was on eBay the other night, just poking around. I thought, oh, you know what? I've always fancied another ECM-77, so I've got two, but I'm not paying another £450. That clearly wasn't £450 in 2005, but you know what I mean. And I found there were quite a few on eBay, including this one, which I bought for £29.99. The description says, you're bidding on an ECM-77 microphone, unknown what parts are missing, it is untested, no manuals, warranty, etc., etc. All parts are non-working or non-returnable. It's the old Amstrad CPC 464 listing, isn't it? I found a 464, I can't test it, I don't know if it works, but you know what? I know these microphones well enough to know that unless they've been seriously abused and subjected to water, it's going to work. It's like a 464, right? It's a 464. It works. It's an ECM-77B. For £30, I'm prepared to take a punt, which is exactly what I did. And if I reach down here, we have a box. Not going to show you the address. I've not tested this yet. These are the boxes they originally come in. The problem is the boxes are too big to put in your camera bag, so you end up putting them in a freezer bag like I do in my camera bag. With a little bit of silica gel should usually be in there as well, actually. But this is what you get. I'm just going to move my one over to the side, and I've got no idea what's in here. I can tell you one thing. You can tell the age of the unit by if it has a clip on it or if it's Velcro, because Sony have apparently cheapened the case, even though it's £450. Right. Yeah, £450 microphone. Right, I'm looking inside, and I'm seeing such care and attention to put. See, I just did that. That's how you should coil up your microphone, and that's after 18 years. That's pretty much okay. It's got a little bit of a mind of its own, but you know what? It's generally fine. Or you can just scrunch it up and stick it in the case. So we've got our barrel there. We are missing some of the accessories. The clip, we've got one tie clip, which is completely snapped off and broken. These are incredibly expensive from Sony, but luckily there are knockoff versions available. My exposure's gone quite high again. Anyway, this is Chinny Vision 2, so it doesn't. What does it matter? Right, I dropped that on my foot. So that's got good. A pack of these from Sony. I think you get a few of them in there. It's about 200 quid or something, I think. They are expensive. Do not lose your clips, although you can get aftermarket ones, so it's not a problem. But if the Sony thing on there matters to you, then clearly, yeah, that's gone. That's no good. Right, so what do we got? First thing to do is check in here, because people can leave AA batteries in these and they can leak. That's never happened to me, honest. I've never left an AA battery in my one and kind of wept, and then luckily it's all been okay. No, there's no battery in there. There is no sign of any damage in there. That is good. So you need an AA battery in there if you don't have phantom power supplied, because these are XLR microphones designed for professional environment. So the cable is right, tangled. Right. Well, the cable isn't all kind. It's clearly spent a lot of its life scrunched up. But for £30 for a second microphone, this ain't going to be too bad. Because ideally, if you've got two interviewees next to each other, you want matched microphones. I don't. I use my radio mics if I'm in that situation, because I don't have two ECM-77Bs. I've now tangled my microphone cable in my curly cord. Right. Okay, so yeah, it's been scrunched up a lot of times in the bag. I can make this better. But it will never be perfect. But for £30, we're not complaining. So, I guess, get my bit out of the way. Let's plug it in. See if it works. I don't have a clip, so I'm going to have to hold it. So, apologies for any rustling. There's a few marks on the barrel there. A few nicks. Mine's perfect. My stuff's good because I never let the talent fiddle with it. Stuff gets damaged when you let the talent handle it, which is why I have concerns about those Rode microphones. You know, I've had my proper Sennheiser radio mics dropped or scraped along walls by the talent. And it's like, for goodness sake, do you know how much this stuff costs? But, yeah, they don't, and they don't care. Right. Okay. Let's give this a go. I'm going to fade my main mic down. And I'm going to fade my ECM-77 up. Let's have a look at OBS and see if I've got level on there and what my level meters is doing. That sounds okay. That's pointing towards me. In a lapel position, that's pointing away. I've got my hand in the way. That's the problem. It's not going to sound identical to the other one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm rustling it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That sounds fine. It sounds pretty good. You'll hear in this room, by the way, the computer's running, because when I'm on my main mic, like this, I've got all these boxes here and there's gating on there. Look, I can turn all the stuff off. And that's how it, that's how it sounds. See, it sounds like that. So you don't want that really. You want me all properly processed. But yeah, this one sounds okay. It's it doesn't look too bad. It's the cable's scrunched up a bit. I dare say it probably won't last forever. It looks like it's had a hard life. But for £30, I'm really not complaining. I'll do proper tests on this to match up with the other mic before it goes out, but it's like a 464. It's an ECM-77. It's built like a tank. Unless someone's got loads of water into this capsule, so I'm pointing there. Unless someone's got loads of water into this capsule, it's going to be fine. The acoustics going to be weird over here now, by the way, because these are not how these are meant to be used. They're meant to be clipped on like that. And I'll have to get a clip. Now, you're going to say, Chinny, I don't have a mixing desk. If I pick up one of these bargains, how am I going to use it? And the answer is, you have a battery. You run a battery in the unit here, obviously, as I mentioned, because you don't have phantom power. But you can get and then it will be coming up there at mic level. And all you need is an adapter that takes XLR to whatever you need, be it 1/4-inch jack, be it 3.5mm jack or whatever. You can get the adapters for this, no problem. They won't cost much money at all. You can, or you can plug it into a mixing desk or whatever, but yes, that's going to be too heavy to plug into your equipment, but you simply buy another XLR cable for a couple of quid and then plug your adapter onto that. Or you can even get, actually, what I do, thinking about it, I wouldn't even get an adapter. I would get a lead that goes from XLR to mini jack, so you're not putting too much weight on your connector. But if you do that, then you will have a TV studio grade professional microphone for £30 plus, let's say, £6 or £7 for an XLR lead of your choice. 40 quid, basically, by the time you had everything delivered. And that's, that is a bargain. And these are on eBay. These are on eBay because people sell them and really don't know what they're... I'm trying to coil up a cable that's pretty much... that needs a bit of untangling and a bit of work, but it's habit. This is something someone told me years ago. A radio station manager showed me how to properly coil cables, and it's invaluable to really do it, and how to tease them into the right position. You don't never wrap stuff up tightly around equipment. Sometimes people go to me, I'm going to help you pack away. Please don't. And they do it anyway, and then you come back and find your microphones have been wrapped up around the radio mics, and what you end up with after many years is not cables like that. You end up cables like that because they're just damaged and it puts strain on them. So that's one way to get a cheap microphone, but you may want an interview mic. I saw someone saying, I could buy a adapter for my Rode microphone. I can put it on a stick and that'll be really good. Oh, if you must. They're not really designed for that. And I can tell you another way to get a cheap microphone. Now, I like the Rode M3 microphone. I like the Rode M3 microphone so much, I have several of them. These are just the ones I've got lying around the office. There are more in kit bags. Yeah, I've got, this is an indication of how many Rode M3s I've got. And I've only ever paid full price for 2 of these before I realised, yet again, eBay is a dumping ground for kit people buy and then don't use. Although these aren't expensive, actually. They used to be a little bit more expensive, but they are actually fairly cheap in microphone terms, about £70, £80 these days. Rode M3, it's a... hang on, let me get some space. I've got too many Rode M3s. Right. Rode M3 is a good interview mic. It's a good studio mic. It's the AK-47 of microphones, I call this. It can be used in location. It can be used in studio. No, it's not a microphone like this one. Like that. Can you see? Oh. Which is a Rode NTK microphone, XLR, because I don't use USB stuff, because you buy a proper microphone, you buy it for life, right? As we've learnt there. You buy Bluetooth stuff, USB stuff, it's not going to last your life. I can promise you that. Someone's ringing me and I'm carrying on. So you buy a microphone for life, and you buy something like this or something like this, and with this microphone, I've got a... Go away! Please go away. Please go... I can't stop it until they go away. No, I'm not answering you. This mic up here has got a very expensive £100 plus 1979 Mullard valve in it, because it's a valve mic. Because invest in your microphones, because they last you for life. XLR microphones will last you a life unless you abuse them, or the valve dies and you have to put a new valve in, granted. Whereas your XLR and your USB and your Bluetooth stuff, they're disposable. They're all disposable. You're only ever one driver update or one internal battery failing from the entire thing being a disaster area. So I've got loads of these. These are Rode M3s, many of them, and they are fantastic as a handheld mic. They can run on Phantom, but actually they take 9-volt batteries inside, and you can get an XLR to mini jack adapter, so you can plug them into anything. I need an XLR lead. Guess who didn't get an XLR lead? Guess who can't edit this? 2 seconds. I need an XLR lead. Right. Here I am. I'm back. Back in the game. doing what I did before. Answers in the comments below if you know what TV shows titles that had a lyric for. Stuart Kenny cannot take part. Right, so plug that in. Plug that in there. Go in. Right. Let's turn my phantom power off. I don't know where my level's going to be. 1, 2, 3. Oh, yeah. There we go. So this is the Rode M3. Sorry if I peeked out a little bit there. This, although that stuff's flashing, it's not doing anything. The Rode M3 is a handheld condenser microphone. It is directional. So if I point it the other way, I will go off mic. I point it back this way, it goes on mic. The closer I am to the mic, there's a lovely, lovely proximity effect on there. It is a little bit prone to popping if you breathe right into it. Pop, 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 pop. But it's a really nice microphone that you can use on location. I've used it everything from being in a cathedral, recording an organ. I had 4 of them in there. I've been at air shows, out with the army with things being shot. Not actual people, they were blanks, but gunshots going off, and these things didn't overload. They are absolutely brilliant. I've recommended them in TV to people I know work in TV production. They came back to me and said, oh, goodness me, these things are just absolutely brilliant. And I say, yeah, they're not the best in sound quality. You can get better handheld mics, but you will not get a mic that handles all-round situations as well and for the price. They really are. They give you a lot for your buck. They give great location. You can get a dead cat on eBay, which is a little kind of furry thing that goes on the top there, that will stop the wind affecting the microphone. They cost about £10. There's a bloke who makes them. They're brilliant. You can therefore be out in the wind and not get any wind noise. You can put a wireless module on this if you want to. I do frequently. But also, it's wired. It can be XLR, powered by Phantom. It can be powered by the internal battery. And it will give you really good audio quality. And likewise, there are loads of these on eBay for about, I've got some of these for about £20. So I must have 5 or 6 here. And I've got a whole bag of them because I've only ever paid full price for 2 of them. And the rest of them I've picked up for about, say, £20, £30. And it's another case like the ECM-77 where you can get hold of something broadcast quality for no money at all. No money at all. It's nuts because people buy this stuff. And there's loads of other microphones you can buy as well. And I'm going to go back to the normal microphone, sorry. There's loads of other microphones you can buy as well. That people, and mixing tests and all sorts of stuff that people just don't want to eBay because they've gone, oh, I'm going to do sound recording for work or something, and they buy it and they use it once and off it goes. And you just end up with, all these mics on, oh, this one's got the dead cat on it. That one's got the dead cat on it, you see? There's a guy on there. Here you go. Wind cut. And it's just a bit of fluff. I've had this at this one, not this necessarily this mic, but this dead cat out on the Solent on a boat with someone going along interviewing them with the wind and everything going on. It was fine. There are different versions of the Rode mic. Some of them have slightly more, how do you call it, matted look on them. Some of them have the markings, and I think this is one of my original ones here. So this could be getting on for 2008. I probably bought this one, if this is one of my original ones. And yeah, a microphones for life. This has been everywhere with me, if that's the one I'm thinking of. And they're great, and they can be picked up so cheaply. So next, the point of all this is to say to you guys, A, there are bargains to be had, but B, consider buying second-hand professional equipment off of eBay, because you'll get it cheaply. Chances are it will be virtually unused. You might have to take a punt. This microphone here, this ECM-77, could have turned up and been knackered, but that was a punt I was willing to take. It may be next year the cable gives up because it's been too screwed up over the years and not been looked after. That is a risk I can take. But something like a Rode M3, you know, these things are bulletproof, really. You've got to know how to use it. Yes, they're susceptible to handling noise, so you can't, you know, if you're doing that. And clearly, if you're doing an interview, you have to make sure you are pointing it at them, the person you're interviewing. Best thing to do, actually, is you be kind of there and them there, and you don't have to move the mic too much. So you're not doing a Kermit the Frog kind of kind of thing. But yeah, great microphones, and you can pick all this stuff up. So if you are thinking about the Rode wireless mics and things like that, yeah, by all means buy them. They're easy, but just remember, they are disposable. You'll get a couple of years out them. If you're technically minded, you might be able to open it up without damaging it and get the clips released and put a new battery in. But yeah, you are getting, no matter how much these companies try and market these things as professional solutions, they are not. Look at that. That's... You know, that's machined metal. Yeah, okay, it may not survive a drop, but it probably will be okay. It certainly will, you know, be fine if it's looked after in a kit bag and kept dry, you know, because microphones don't like getting wet. That said, I've probably had these out in the rain and, you know, I've got them dry afterwards and they've been fine. You know, just look at this stuff, consider it, go on eBay, you know, bide your time, and you could potentially get yourself a very nice studio quality lapel mic for far less than some nasty cheap AliExpress microphone or some Bluetooth thing. Anyway, I've whittled on enough. If you're still watching, well done to you. I hope this made sense because it's been a long video for Chinny Vision 2. But thank you for watching and see you soon. Cheers. Oh, I could press the stop button on there, couldn't I? Dare I? I'll do it down here. I've forgotten what the buttons on there do.